Okay, folks, I've got the bids and I've got to read you this one. This is a serious one, folks, the most serious one we're going to do today. Scarlett Blake. No, not Sexton Blake. Scarlett. In fact, I've not been serious there. I should have been. I shouldn't have said Sexton. Nothing to do with it at all. Forget I've said that. Scarlett Blake, a transgender. Looks like it's boy to girl. I'll more about that in a moment. But it's weird because the paper that I've read it in never mentions all the way. In fact, I'll tell you now, the paper all the way through doesn't mention whether Scarlett was ever a boy. But he, she is a girl now. They keep calling it him or her, not it, Scarlett. But they never mention a boy's name and what he or she was born as, which was weird. I thought it was all strange. Anyway, where do we go to? Scarlett, about 4 years ago, has killed a fellow called JORGE Correno. I think he was Mexican, I may be wrong, I did read it, but I've forgotten already. He or she killed him by hitting him with a vodka bottle over the head, then strangling him and then throwing him in the river. And he or she, Scarlett, thought they'd gotten away with it. Now, Scarlett is, I think, Chinese of origin, came over at 6 years of age, or 9 years of age, more about that in a moment. But Chinese origin, parents are pretty wealthy, her mother's, I think, a cardio surgeon in Oxford, and her father, I think, works mainly from China. I don't know if they split up or not, but he's mainly in China, I believe. Anyway, what happened? Bear with me a sec. Yeah, so the reason that the court told Scarlett was the deed was done sort of 3-4 years ago now, but for 2 years the police had virtually closed the case. They thought it was an accident and he fell in and drowned. I think his body was found a couple of years after he went into the river, and they had no suspects. Anyway, Scarlett's had an argument with her girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it may be, called Ashlin Bell. Now, Ashlyn was from America, was American. They met each other after one of the lockdowns on some site. What was the site called? It'll come to me in a minute. I can't remember what it was, but it will come to me. I'll tell you in a minute, 'cause I'll get to it. I've wrote all bits and pieces down. Anyway, they'd had a bizarre row amongst one another where guns were drawn, but they never shot one another or anything else. And because they'd had this row, Ashlyn decided to tell the police over here in Great Britain what Scarlett had done, because Scarlett had been bragging to Ashlyn. Although the background to this is they'd met on this site, this messaging site that's like on, I think, the dark web, where you can't use message, you know. They've both got a fixation for torture and for killing, and to that end Scarlett wants to impress his boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is in America. He actually gets hold of gets a cat. They're both fixated with cats. They both like cats, but especially Ashlyn. She's got a thing about cats. She's supposed to like them in a weird, must be in a weird way, because she likes them. But for Ashlyn's benefit, Scarlett tortures this cat, tortures it live, films it all to send to Ashlyn, murders the cat, then puts the cat in pieces in a food blender, a food mixer. All very, very nice. And Scarlett's been telling Ashlyn she's always wanted to kill somebody. She's got a thing for murder and wants to kill somebody. Echoes of the 2 young kiddies, I suppose, that did that horrible thing in Warrington a year or so ago. She'd even talked about, or he'd even talked, whatever it is, she talked about killing his own mother and father, but it didn't happen. So anyway, it went to the police, and they thought Ashlyn was such a dodgy witness that the police didn't want her over here at the case. Although they got the testimony of her, they didn't want her over here and be shown, because they just thought she would ruin the case, although she told them what had gone on. But they said this Scarlett was like a really nasty bit of work, because the video's been seen, and whilst he's doing this to the cat, he's grinning, or she's grinning, meowing, all the time that he or she is torturing the cat, and all the time that it's in the food processor. And it's just weird, this Ashlin Bell, the girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know what it is, from America, she's doing things on the internet. She's advertising her services for transgender people to have sex with him or her at $100 an hour. She's got a massive collection of guns and war memorabilia, and she supports the Nazis. She likes the Nazi regime. They met on an app called Discord or something. It's a secretive online messaging platform. And as I say, they were both swapping messages, that they were both fascinated with torture and death. He has himself, what's his name again? Old Scarlett Blake. He or she has a chip inside the chest, an animal chip, and it's registered with one of these. God. It's registered with somebody, so you can tell where he is at all times. The animal people that have processed the chip and given the chip, they know where he is at all times, which is all a bit weird. Came over to the UK when he was 9. Identified as a transgender when he was 12. Went by the name of Alice Wang, amongst other names, but Alice Wang was the most predominant name. Started taking puberty blockers at 17, hormone treatments at 18, and now we'll forget the he or she now, we'll go with he. I'm pleased about this. The newspaper, as I say, doesn't mention at any time whether this person was originally a he. I've had to go online and look things up to find this out. I know the message is all over the place, but there was so much of it. It was a big piece and I couldn't read it all out to you. I've had to go online and find out that this person was definitely born a he, but it never mentions the person's name when it was born a he. They're calling it in the newspaper he or she, or them or they. They're not saying he, they're not saying she, which I think is weird. Why would they not say what this person was? It is a he. Luckily, this he, whether it identifies as a woman or not, has been sent to a Cat A men's prison. At last, somebody somewhere has learnt some sense. With a bit of luck, there might be men in there that torture young, is it Sexton again? Not Sexton, Scarlett. Oh, Scarlett might get some of what that cat that she tortured had. Let's hope the men in the prison put her through the mill, good style. So anyway, that's where we are with it. I don't know if he or she has been jailed. I can't remember what's been jailed. I don't know whether he's got life or what length of term he's got. I said she then. Why I said she? My address is a she. It's a he. It's a he. It's a he. It's a he. And I'm glad that he has been sent to the men's prison and may he rot in hell. Just an all-round bad, dodgy piece of work. And I think if that person ever gets out of prison, that person is definitely going to do that again. There's no ifs, buts or maybes about it. That person has got a taste for it. I don't see how you rehabilitate that one. I really don't. But anyway, that's it. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, the hormone stuff, the puberty blockers and the hormone stuff, I mean, does that contribute towards the awful things that you do? And I know loads go through that, but when you're pumping all these drugs into your body, what other effects other than changing your sex or the composition of how you look can it do to you? You've got to ask yourself there. But anyway, that's it from me. I know I wumbled on it. It wasn't in any order and I do apologise, but it's something that I thought I needed to bring to air and to mention because many of you won't know about it and I read it and I was open-mouthed. But I'm reading through it all, I'm thinking, well, was this person ever a male? They're mentioning transgender, but they're not saying what this person is and was and whatever else, and they called it he, she, this, that, them or they, and you just don't know where you are with it. I thought to myself, get hold of whoever your reports is, say, this person was a male, now identifying as a female, blah, 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 but in the men's prison, that would have made it a lot easier. As I said, I have to go trolling through the internet to look. I know I put it on again, I am sorry.